You do not need fancy academic sounding words to pass a C1 advanced exam. In fact, if you try to speak
like the Queen of England,
that could actually really hurt your marks. In this video, I'm going to show you how the best essays actually use quite simple, clear vocabulary and how that actually helps your score, especially when it comes to your communicative achievement marks in the exam, which is one of the 4 marking criteria that the writing examiners use. So let's dive right in. Let's talk about the pressure that a lot of C1 students feel. They think it's a C1 exam, I need to use big words, long sentences, and sound like I read dictionaries in my free time. But here's the truth. Writing like that doesn't make you sound academic, it just makes your essays difficult to understand. And that's a problem because if your writing is confusing, you're going to lose marks in communicative achievement because you're not achieving effective communication. Now, this can also be a problem in the speaking exam, so stay with me. Now, think about how people communicate in the real world. I'm going to start by showing you a clear, simple sentence and then a version of the same idea written in really fancy English with excellent vocabulary, but you're going to see that it's really not easy to understand. So listen to this first sentence. I ate the most delicious chocolate ice cream on the weekend, and the best part was the chocolate chips. Now, here's the fancy version, but not necessarily the better version.
Over the course of the preceding weekend, I partook in the consumption of a frozen, dairy-based dessert of such exquisite gustatory refinement that it could only be described as a paradigmatic exemplar of chocolate-infused indulgence. Notably, the most transcendent element of this
I probably already lost you because my sentence was unnecessarily complex. People switch off. Now, do good writers write 100-word sentences full of uncommon words? Absolutely not. They use clear, structured language that's easy to follow. And here's the thing, that's exactly what Cambridge wants. This week, when I was marking my intensive students' C1 essays, I pasted this one student's essay into a website, which you can use, called Text Inspector. Now, this is a real essay that scored a very high C1, almost C2 mark, and guess what? Most of the vocabulary this student used was actually A1 and A2 vocabulary, seriously. It wasn't made up mostly of C2 level expressions, it had about 5% C2 vocabulary, but it was just well written, well organized, and easy to understand. So let's have a close look at this together because you can do this at home with your text too. Now, I'm going to paste the essay into Text Inspector and look at this bar. Most words are common, high frequency vocabulary. There are, of course, some nice C1 expressions and a few advanced structures, sure, and that's great, but the majority of the words are the kind of words you already know. And this proves that you don't need to write like a university professor. You need to write like a confident, clear communicator. When you're practicing your writing at home, you should not do these things. Don't try to impress the examiner by writing really long, wordy sentences. It's confusing and it doesn't work. It's better to have a variety of sentence length. So you might have a short sentence followed by a longer sentence. This balance is really important. You also shouldn't throw random phrasal verbs, random collocations, random advanced vocabulary that don't really fit into the context just to sound fancy. Also, don't use words that you don't fully understand just to sound advanced because they're probably not going to sound very natural in the context that you're using them. Let's have a super quick look at the examiner's marking criteria here so you can see why this is really important. Now, if we have a quick look here, you'll see that your writing marks are divided into 4 sections. So you can get up to 25% of marks for your content, 25 for communicative achievement, 25 for organization, and also for language. When it comes to communicative achievement, to get 5 out of 5 here, it says uses the conventions of the communicative task with sufficient flexibility to communicate complex ideas in an effective way. So your ideas need to be clear, holding the target reader's attention with ease. So the person reading it should be able to understand what is going on easily. If your sentences are really fancy and they're too complex, then it's harder to understand what's going on. So when in doubt, straight to the point with direct and clear language. So to start wrapping things up, there are really 4 things that you need to focus on to write a really good text in the C1 Advanced exam. The first one is have a clear structure. Write out your plan beforehand, know what your points are going to be, and stick to that, write nothing more. The second one, although of course you do need to demonstrate that you have C1 language abilities, in general, you want to use simple, precise vocabulary. Don't overcomplicate things. The third thing you should do is try to use a mix of grammatical structures. So again, don't only use A1 grammar or try to use 10 different C1 advanced inversions in there, because neither two are going to help you out. Of course, you're going to use mostly simple grammar because it's the foundation of our language, but we do need a couple of C1 structures in there as well. And last but not least, although your ideas should be nice and smart, make sure that they are easy to follow. You make your point, you give some more information, and that's it. And actually, if you think about it, I didn't really use any fancy sounding super advanced vocabulary in this short video, but you understood me, right? I made my point clearly, and that's all I wanted to do. Guys, we've made it to the end. If this video helped you feel just a little bit less stressed about sounding really academic, please give it a like and leave a comment below. And if you think I really need to practice for the writing exam, I have no idea what's going on, then check out my writing ebook specifically for the C1 Advanced exam. It's full of real examples, it's full of model answers, exam strategies that have helped my students pass vocabulary lists, so you can finally pass your C1 exam too. You've got this.